Oh, welcome home to the scuffle town. All week long we're throwing down, dancing and singing to the beat of that war paint drum. Hey. Here come the queen still in teenage hearts, riding on the back of the measly gold cars. Decal on the front saying, who's your people? If you know what I'm saying, can I get a key? Ain't nothing like Lumbee homecoming. Yeah.
Hey everybody, this is Natascha with LRDA, and welcome back to our podcast, Who's Your People, the Lumbee Homecoming series. And I'm super excited today because we have some really, really cool guests. All our guests are cool, but they might be a little super cool. I don't know. I'll let you decide. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, so we'll start with ladies first.
All right, hey everybody, my name is Brittany Hunt. I am a member of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, of course. I'm from the West 5th Street community, and I'm an assistant professor at Virginia Tech.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm J.D. Moore. I'm a member of the Waccamaw Siouan Tribe, the people of the Falling Star. I currently live in Lumberton, North Carolina with my wife, Kim, and my wonderful daughter, Kara, with fond memories of our son, Jacob, and I'm employed with Duke Energy Sharon Harris Nuclear Station.
Now, they sound so professional. And I know they are professional, but we're going to get laid back here in just a minute, okay? So, Brittany, Miss Professor, we know her as Big Brit.
That's right, not the little one.
Even though she's teeny tiny.
I feel like I'm bigger in person.
No, Big Brit is big personality.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But
Yeah.
I've gained about a pound.
A whole
By
pound.
the pageant, I'm going to be up 1.5 pounds. So watch out, Pembroke.
Well, Big Brit because of the pound, and Big Brit because of the personality, and Big Brit because of all the things that she's done that she's so modest about, but we're going to dig into. And then Mr. J.D. Moore, I've known since Jesus was a baby.
Amen.
Maybe not that long.
I never
We've
heard
known
that
each
one.
other a long time.
You've never heard that?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I've coined a term for you.
I like that. I'm going to use that
Since
one.
Jesus was a baby, that means a really long time
Yes,
ago.
we have.
Right? So we date back to the early 90s, right?
That's right. When you was wearing that sash that said Miss Indian USA.
Well, before that.
Before that, the Ray Little Turtle eras.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Before that, Miss Lumbee days.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been, oh my gosh, my memory's not as good as yours.
What year were you Miss Lumbee?
1993.
Oh yeah, my
So it's
senior
been
year
a
in college.
long time ago.
That's right.
Yeah, and he was a fancy dancer back then.
Yeah.
He'd wear that big old bustle, and him and Keith Colson would get out there, and they would have competitions and to
Yep.
see who could wear each other out first.
We had good knees back then.
Yeah. So it evolved out of the fancy dancing to MCing.
Yeah, I had to give up the bustles and grab the microphone. Yes, ma'am.
Well, you do a good job of it.
Thank you.
You both do.
Thank you.
And having said that, that's why they're here today, because they're going to be our MCs for the Teen and Miss Lumbee pageant next Thursday night, July 2nd,
Yep.
at GPAC, 6:30 p.m.
That's correct.
And we're so excited about them being our MCs this year. Now, JD has MC'd for us before,
Yes, ma'am.
and this is Brittany's first time.
Yes, I've never emceed anything before, so keep
Never?
me in your prayers. No.
She's going to
Maybe
do
y'all
wonderful.
made a bad choice. We'll find
No,
out.
I don't think we made a bad choice.
I hope not.
I think you're a natural.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
In times I've heard you speak, you do very well with that, and
Yeah.
your TikTok's amazing. Everybody
Thank
loves
you.
what you do with your TikTok, and if you combine those two, you're a perfect MC.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I think
That's
it's
what
gonna
I
go
was
good.
thinking anyway when I gave you the
I think
invitation.
it's going to go good.
It
I
will.
think it will.
Yeah.
I think it will. So I just want to talk a little bit, about who you are in the community and the things that you've done individually, just so people can get to know you more. So tell us, Brittany, I know you said you're a professor. What's your you said you grew up on West 5th Street.
Yes.
So just give us a little bio on you.
Yeah, West 5th Street, which I feel like a lot of people don't recognize as a Lumbee community,
Oh,
but
it
it really
is.
is. It's really where cruising, from what I've been told, originated, and that's where
Second
Indians
Street.
used to cruise, in that area. And so I grew up right behind the Burger King on 5th Street
Yeah.
on Hedge Drive, and so that's where I lived until I was 18 and went away to college.
I cruised on 2nd Street when I was in high school.
See, now it's a lesson for everybody to learn that West 5th Street is definitely a Lumbee community, and a big part of Lumbee history, I would say, as well. So I grew up there, and then I went to college at Duke, and then I graduated from there, and then graduated from UNC Chapel Hill as well, and then I got my PhD from UNC Charlotte, and then now I'm a professor at Virginia Tech. So that's kind of like my academic background, but I also co-hosted a podcast with Chelsea T. Locklear, who was also on this podcast as well, called
Our t-shirt designer.
Which is also called the Red Justice Project, which focuses on cases of missing and murdered Indigenous people throughout the U.S., but with a specific focus on Robinson County, North Carolina. So we know that unfortunately that's a big issue in this county with the violent crime rate, and so we focused a lot of cases here because unfortunately, a lot of times the national news and the media doesn't cover our cases. And so we did that podcast. The last episode we did was in 2022. We keep saying every year we're going to bring it back. Maybe we will now that we have this beautiful studio.
Yeah, you can come use our studio.
Use this, but we're going to bring it back eventually and do a final season. And then I also wrote the children's book called Who's Your People, which came out, God, when was that? Maybe 2020, right before COVID. And then I do my TikToks as well, which has become a really cool part of my life over the course of the past year.
So how did you get started with TikTok?
That's a great question. So I would put it on my calendar for years to be like, make a TikTok today. And I would write down different ideas of things I could do and talk about. But then I just never did it. Like when TikTok became popular during COVID, I think is when it really like shot to popularity. And I just never did it. And then last year I had an idea to get a purse from my man, and I said, if I can get 500 likes on this TikTok, will you buy me a purse? And he said yes. And I don't think he think I could do it, which I don't know why he thought that. Women are going to support women.
I can't imagine.
And I had a pretty good following on Facebook at that point, so I knew I would probably be able to do it, but I had never got that many likes in the past before. So I just did it, and then I got the likes, and then I got the purse, and people seemed to like my personality and just like the things I was talking about, and so I just kept making TikToks after that, and then things just kind of really took off from there. So it's been a really amazing journey to just get to share Lumbee culture with my personality and also with my love of purses, and just like to merge all the things about me together has been nice to share with the world.
Because it's not just funny stuff, it's educational stuff. It's a little bit of the influencer stuff. All those things. So it's really cool combination of what you're doing.
I did one video about tobacco, and I just went crazy. It went like kind of viral online, and I was just so surprised that people thought it was so interesting. And then people wanted to see me make tobacco bundles. And so a lot of the videos that I do that are like funny eventually turn into a lesson somehow, because then I was teaching about tobacco bundles and the importance of tobacco in Native communities, where originally I was just making a funny video about me stumbling into a tobacco shop in Charlotte and being like, oh God, I don't know what to do in this tobacco shop. There's cigarettes everywhere. That's what I said in the video, because I was trying to buy like traditional tobacco.
Loose tobacco,
and because somebody told me I could do that there, but then I didn't realize it was not really the kind that you want to use, and so I ended up getting some from an elder. And I reached out to her to get the tobacco, and she had some, but she had a small amount. And after I told her how much tobacco I needed for my classes, she called farmers all through Fairmont and got me this massive bag of tobacco, which I still have so much of. Maybe I'll pass it out at homecoming.
That'd be good.
If you see me come get some tobacco, I'll put it in my little pouch right
That's
here.
awesome.
But so a lot of times too, it's just a way for me to connect with people back home too, since I don't live here. I live in Charlotte, and so I feel like I'm always connecting every day with different Lumbee people who are just happy about my TikTok videos, and also they're feeling like a sense of home from seeing me online as well, and then I'm feeling home from them, commenting, and so it's kind of like a way for me to stay connected as well.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's also good for our people, our tribe, to have the exposure at that level too.
Because we got federally recognized after I started posting TikToks.
You heard that.
So thank me. No. No. Coincidence. it is.
But I'm just saying though, it does give some positive exposure.
Yeah.
You know, having that voice
That's true.
in the stratosphere.
Yeah, and
you know,
visibility.
and
too,
the
Willis.
visibility.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of times people
Right.
are like, I've never seen a native with a country accent, or I've never seen a
Well,
native
they've never
with,
been to North Carolina
Right.
or Oklahoma.
right. I've never seen a native with freckles, or just it helps
Yeah.
to really demystify what people think a native looks and sounds like
Right.
versus us being so diverse. I mean, you know, a native from North Carolina is going to be totally different from a native person who grew up in Alaska,
That's
for
right.
example. And showing that online, I think,
Right.
is very powerful
Right.
to give visibility in a world that really does try to erase us.
And
in
it
the media.
dispels stereotypes.
Yes, yes.
You know, when I was younger, much younger, I was an intern in the WINS program, Washington Interns for Native
Yeah.
Students. And so I was there with lots of students, Indian students from across the nation.
Mhm.
And one of my best friends was a Navajo and Comanche girl
Mhm.
and had the curliest hair I've ever seen in my life. And she was
Wow.
full-blood Comanche and Navajo. But
Wow.
she, you know, people always say, oh, full-blooded Indians have straight hair and they don't have, you know, there's always these
Right.
Western stereotypes.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, you know, even Western natives
Right.
don't live up to your stereotypes.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. That's really interesting too, because I wouldn't even think about that. But
Right.
you're right; it's not even true there.
It's not even
though
true there.
People think that it is. Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the TikToks. And I've seen the ones you're talking about, but I'm going to tell you what my favorite one is. You might know what I'm going to tell
told
you.
me.
I did tell you already.
Yes. Close your ears. No, it's nothing bad.
It's not bad. No, she don't put bad stuff out there.
No.
But she was so serious on this TikTok. I mean, she's like hunkered down. I think you were in your bed.
Probably.
And just like having like this quiet conversation. And she was so serious. When I get to heaven, I'm going to ask God. You know, you think people say, oh, these big deals, right? And she says she wanted to know why she didn't have a big butt like her mama.
I do. It's still on my mind. What happened? Seriously. How did the genetics...
Genetics are a funny thing, Brittany.
They really are. I look like her in the face, especially when my
You
hair's
do look
straight,
like your mom,
But
yeah.
I didn't get all her,
You
her
do look like Miss
business.
Cordell.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
do.
I like that nice pivot there you did.
So that's fun. That one really got me. That was like I said, I got to find out who this girl is. She is hilarious.
I want to be Big Brit in every way.
Well, you might have to buy it.
I might. Keep watching my TikTok.
You might have to buy it. She might have a TikTok journey for that.
Y'all
I
see
don't
me
know.
go to the Dominican Republic, watch out.
So with you, JD,
Yes, ma'am.
you grew up. Tell us a little bit more about your background.
So I grew up in the Buckhead community, Columbus and Bladen counties, areas there with the Waccamaw Siouan tribe, just very close to Lake Waccamaw. A very rural community, about like some of these here. If you look at it somewhere like Prospect or some of those places there, Saddle Tree, that's very similar to the community I grew up in. Church-based, you know, Holiness Church, Baptist churches. We had 3 Native American churches there in the St. James community and 2 in the Buckhead community. You know, tribal organizations, just like here in Robinson County with the Lumbee. But we're very diverse, just like Britt said, you know, we're very diverse, you know, and different styles and the way people look and things. We grew up in a construction type. Most of our men in those areas did construction work. That's how I got in working with Duke Energy. I fell into, after college, I went to school at Hallsboro. It was a very diverse school. There was about 50% white, about 30% black, and then the rest were Native American. So we were very diverse there, kind of a good mixture of folks, and then went to college. You either, a couple options you had. You'd go to college or you would go out and find you a good public job somewhere.
Yeah.
And most of the young men in those areas that didn't go to university somewhere will go out and find, like my twin brother. He went straight into work, went into DuPont, worked there for many, many years, and then got into construction work. I fell right in behind those guys because it paid very well. It was very lucrative to go out and travel, a young single man. And then all of a sudden I got a phone call to go to Progress Energy. And because of my skill set that I had learned over the years, and ended up there, and now I've been with Duke Energy at the Duke Energy location now for 22 years. So,
Yeah.
but you know, and in all that mixture there, I incorporated my tribal, you know, influences, you know, with people like my mother, Miss Brenda Moore,
Right.
Miss Priscilla Jacobs,
Yep.
Mr. Ernest Jacobs, Mr. Roscoe Jacobs Sr., Mr. Elton Ray Jacobs Jr., and different ones like that were very influential in the Native American and made us be proud. That's why one reason I started Star Lake Designs, because Mr. Roscoe Jacobs, no matter what he was wearing, he dressed really nice. He did public work, he did government work. But he always wore a nice tie, a nice dress shirt, a fedora hat, and a Native American medallion. It didn't matter if he was picking corn or working in the garden or out slopping the hogs or at a business meeting, he was dressed the same. And I remember my brother and I doing a job on a pond one time, in a catfish pond, and he was in the boat with a fedora hat on, with a nice shirt on, with a necktie, with a bolo on, working in that fish pond with us boys, and teaching us how to do catfish farm, because the Waccamaw had catfish farms at that time. And so that influenced me to, and I asked him one time, I said, Mr. Roscoe, why do you wear that? Why do you always wear that? He said, to show people that I'm native, I'm proud of my culture, I'm proud of who I am, and this is how I showcase my Native Americanism, if you would call it that.
Yeah.
And that's how I showcase being Native American, being indigenous.
Yeah.
And back then, indigenous wasn't a word that we used a
No,
lot.
we didn't.
We used Native American or American Indian at the time.
Right.
But now indigenous was a new word that has really come up to exemplify not just us, but our culture.
Yeah.
So it was really good to see that. And I grew up, in that, and that really influenced Star Lake Designs and what my side business away from work. I call it my therapy.
Yeah.
Because it's better than going laying on a couch and paying someone $600 an hour. But no, I don't go to therapy or anything like that.
$600 an hour now. Listen, I'm a LCSW. I never got $600 an hour.
There you go.
You charge higher.
But it was really nice. And and then I always wanted to give someone something that the guy that works at down here doing anything, or the guy that's a lawyer, or the guy that's a banker, or the guy that's cleaning out ditches for a living, whatever they may do, I want to be able to express their indigenous culture, at a good rate, and they can just showcase that no matter what. And that's how I started that. My wife and my daughter, Kara, they are the designers of it.
Okay.
They design.
So it's a family business?
It's a family business. Those young ladies sit down and design stuff. They say, Dad, this looks good, and I assemble it. I'm the assembler. I'll give them some tweaks here and there, but they do the designing, and they are amazing at it. My wife, it takes her a minute, but buddy, she's good at it. Now, when she gets done.
Well, his wife is Lumbee.
Oh, she's Lumbee. She's from over at the Red Banks community there, between there and Prospect area. So yeah, most of her family still lives at Prospect, old Prospect Church out there, and so Methodist Church. But yeah, that's where her family. So my wife is. Like I tell people, I didn't marry Lumbee. She allowed me to marry her.
Oh,
So.
Congratulations.
I've never quite heard it put that way, but okay.
The way I met her was just amazing. She was at the Waccamaw powwow, and there were some guys talking about, how guys do, girls and things like that. And she just came up to me and was talking to me in some of the same circles, and introduced herself, and I introduced mine, and that was that's 26 years ago. We met October the 20th. So,
He remembers the day they met.
Yeah.
That's
I remember what she wore. She had her hair in a little Navajo bun with a pin in the back, with a
Okay.
pair of denim blue denim on, with Mary Jane's with the matching socks, and a blue sweater with burgundy and green. I'll never forget.
Oh my God.
I don't think I've ever quite heard a man give that much detail.
Let me tell you, she made an impression on J.D. Moore.
I can tell.
Me too.
Well, they say Lumbee women,
Hey,
you know.
let me tell you what.
We know how to do that. And she definitely did.
She did. So.
Oh.
She walked right up to you
it.
though. She must have said, "This is going to be my husband."
She introduced herself to in a conversation of these boys were trying to get me to hook up with some young lady, talk to her, and she said, maybe if you would pay girls more your age and more in your lifestyle, like, hey,
remembers the conversation.
yeah. And next thing you know, I shook her hand, and that was it. And then we've been together ever since.
You liked that advice,
I
did you?
I loved that advice. It was godly advice. I could tell that.
Well, that's all right.
Because Stevie Jacobs told me to pray for the woman that you want, and God will send it to you. And so I did. And then he sent me Kimberly.
I love that
Dawn
story.
Huggins.
I'm learning more about you,
Yeah.
JD.
Wow.
And disclaimer, I have known you for 30-some years,
Yes.
right? And I never knew he was a twin.
Yep.
Me either. I didn't know that. I was
did
about to
not
ask
know
that too.
Yeah, I got a twin brother. He's a minute older than me. His name is Noel Delane, and my legal name is Joel Devon.
I never knew what
Yeah.
JD
JD
meant.
says Joel Devon, so Joel and Noel. So folks around home called us the Moore Boys, or they would call us No-Mo. That was our nicknames, No-Mo. First 2 letters of our names. So.
Joel Devon.
Joel Devon and Noel Delane. Yep, that was us.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I like about these podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can just start digging.
Mm-hmm.
You know, disclaimer, what you guys don't know is that we had a conversation. I have a notepad here that doesn't have anything but just a couple of words.
Notepad with no notes.
And Brittany says, I don't see any questions. I said, I kind of wing it. I just go for it.
And it's going great.
Right.
We've learned so much.
We just do it low key here and just have fun and just take the opportunity to, if I keep knocking this off, sorry y'all. There we go. And just take the opportunity to just get to know people in our community and just have fun with it.
That's
So
right.
this is really cool. I love it. So you were a fancy how did you get into dancing?
So my mother worked with the Commission of Indian Affairs for about 35 years. She was community developer, always interculture. And I remember she made my twin brother and I our first regalia. She made it out of this brown felt material she bought at some fabric store in Whiteville, North Carolina. And she hand painted designs on it. And we went to dance. I always liked to dance with the songs that were faster paced and stuff. And so some of the first drums that came there at Buckhead Community, when we used to have the powwow out in front of the tribal ground, in front of the daycare center out there, and we'd build a big bonfire, kind of like they do in Hollister at the Hiawatha Pony Powwow. Mm-hmm. And we'd build that bonfire. And when those would get fast, and then I just graduated from that and went to powwows, and I saw those bustles on those guys, and somebody said, make your set of bustles. So I worked with different folks like Tony Little Turtle and different ones. Actually, my mom and dad and I sat down and made my first set of bustles, and then Tony, I would let him look at them, and he'd give me different things to make it better.
I think Tony kind of helped everybody.
Tony helped everyone.
I mean, he
Turtle
did
helped
with me
everyone.
too. When I was Miss Lumbee,
Yeah.
I mean, they put me through the school of hard knocks,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
I've told this story where, I don't even know if you were there today. I was introduced in the arena when I was Miss Lumbee. I don't know if you remember that.
I might have been, yes, ma'am.
And I came in a little silk dress with polka
I
dots.
remember that, yes, ma'am, I do.
Do you remember that?
I remember that.
A silk dress with what?
Little white polka dots. It was really cute.
It was cute.
And rhinestone crown.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And so I come to the circle to be introduced, and Ray looks me up and down, and he goes, somebody needs to teach our Miss Lumbee the right protocol for the arena, what she needs to wear, something like that. And I was mortified in front of the whole crowd at the powwow.
Ooh.
Right. And it embarrassed the crap out of me, but I'm the kind, it was a challenge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That I was going to prove you wrong.
Right.
You know, I was not going to be what you thought I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and so I made it my mission to learn everything I could. And I made my own moccasins. I made my own jewelry. I learned how to do it all.
That's all. Yeah.
And Tony
Yeah.
was a big part of that. Ray and Kat.
Yeah.
All of those were a huge part of that. And by the end of that year, they gifted me an eagle fan.
Yeah.
So it started with ridicule and ended with eagle feathers.
Yeah, I
So
remember
I'm happy
that.
about that.
That sounds like a movie right there.
Oh, it was.
How old were you?
I was 20.
Wow, doing all that.
20
That's
years
amazing.
old.
Yeah.
20 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, it just sparked something in me. You know, initially was like, I'm going to prove you wrong. But when I got involved and started actually learning and doing, it was like I don't know, a cultural renaissance personally for myself.
You became an
Yeah.
indigenous sponge. You just wanted to
I
soak
just
it
wanted
up.
it to, I mean, you know, because you're never questioned
Right.
when you live here about your identity.
That's right.
It's assumed,
Mhm.
Right.
right? It's you know, everybody knows what you are.
Right.
But when you go just across the county line,
Mhm.
that changes,
Yes.
right? And the further you go,
Yep.
it gets worse.
Right.
You know, so I had gone to Campbell University
Mhm.
Yeah.
as a freshman, and I started getting all these questions, you know, saying, you know, what are you? And the first thing is they always, and I've heard you talk about this on your
Yes.
podcast, Brittany,
Yes.
about how you're always questioned about your identity.
Right.
But that never happened to me until I was older and left to go to college. And it was always Puerto Rican,
Ah.
always Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, and it really puzzled me because I had never been challenged in that way. And they started asking me questions that I didn't really think I didn't know the answers to, because I would never had to know the answers. You know, there was just a lot of things that were assumed, and you just existed in the world that you grew up in, and without the challenges. And but it really sparked something in me to want to know more and to be literate in my culture and my history. And that's when I decided I was going to be in pageant. And then I really got schooled. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you know, talk about that experience. You know, you've talked about it some on your podcast.
Yeah. Well, my TikTok, I talk about my TikTok.
I meant your TikTok.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, for sure, it's same exact story for me. Never ever experienced anything like that here in Robeson County, because, like you said, everybody knows. Lumbees know you're Lumbee, and our neighbors, our black and white and any other race neighbors, they know as well, because they understand our culture, at least to a certain degree, because of the familiarity of being here. But people away from here, even a county over, even just in Fayetteville, but like you're saying too, being at Campbell, I don't know what county that's in, but it's only like 2 counties over maybe, right?
Yeah.
Campbell,
Harnett County.
Yeah, so it's not very far away. It's like right outside of Cumberland County. And then I went to Duke, so I was in Durham, which is only about 2 hours away, and it's like a whole different world. Like, immediately the questions, who are you, was my number one. I mean, what are you? What are you? Always people asking me that.
Yeah,
then
what do you mean, what am I?
I would be so put off by it, but then I would tell them and they wouldn't believe me. They would be like, oh, are you sure? Or is maybe half, or like maybe one parent. They were always assuming that I was half black or Dominican, usually was the 2 things. I got a very specific one though last summer. They said, I told him what I was, and he said, oh, I thought you were going to say you were Ukrainian, Persian, African, and French.
What?
Wow.
All 4. And I remember he said it, and I repeated it back just so I could remember. He thought I was literally those 4 things combined, which is
How
so
in
strange.
the world? That is so strange.
So strange. And so really that's the part that unnerved me the most, was how strange the comments would be that people would say to me, and how comfortable people felt just like picking apart my face to be like, oh, are you sure? Like your nose and your freckles and your hair, like just looking me up and down, or everything about me, the way I talk, the way I just am, just assuming that I'm not native because I don't look like Pocahontas movie or Dances with Wolves or Last of the Mohicans, when even in those movies sometimes they're not even indigenous actors.
Right.
And so a lot of times what happens in the media, or what they see in the media, is their expectation for what indigeneity looks and sounds like, when in reality we are not a monolith, and we don't look or sound like those things most of the time. And those movies are really made from a white perspective, or like a other kind of perspective that's not really indigenous focused. And so I had a lot of struggles with it. And still people will say things to me, but I've gotten older now, and it's easier for me to have a good comeback. Whereas at first, I was like, oh God, what am I supposed to do? And then they were, like you said, they're asking me these questions that I don't know how to answer. And so then that's when also that began a process for me, similar to you, like of like understanding my culture, researching Lumbee history, so that I could have some kind of answer ready. Whereas,
but then, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But then you realize you knew this stuff all along.
Right.
You just didn't package it in your mind in the way that people are asking it. Does that make sense?
Right, yes, because they would ask me some things like, what are your ceremonies, or like, what is your language? And I would be thinking, oh, I don't have any ceremonies, but really we do.
Yeah, we do.
I just wasn't thinking about them in that way.
Right.
And certainly we have a language, we have a dialect, certainly.
Right.
I mean, we have these things. I just had never thought about it in the way they were asking. It was totally different. So I understand what you mean.
Yeah, and it's like you just take things for granted.
Right.
When you don't have the exposure outside of where you grow up.
That's right.
Yes.
Right. I literally never left Robeson County for any length of time, other than maybe a trip or 2 to the beach for a day. I mean, growing up, it was just me and my mom, and we couldn't afford vacations in the way that people vacation now. You know, we had one vacation in Myrtle Beach one summer, and we had to sit in the room and play cards the whole time because we didn't have no money to go nowhere and do anything else. But we were at the beach. We were at the beach. You know, so that was the extent of my travel.
Yeah.
Right. So when I went to college, it was like, whoa, horse. You know, and that was only an hour away.
Right. People, you do see people from all different walks of life, and people who have like real money. I remember meeting people who had like money.
What is
that?
that?
I didn't even like people driving Maseratis, like that's their car. And I'm like, oh, you have a Maserati, and I'm like,
What is
grew
that?
up- and it's like interesting because I took a class when I was in my master's, and the professor did something that's I don't think I would do this as a professor, but she had us split up in the class based on if you grew up poor or if you grew up rich. And I remember sitting there like, I don't know where to go. Certainly my house, if people saw the house, they would think maybe poor, but it was also meticulously clean. And
Right.
I also
What's your
had
definition
really
of
nice
rich?
clothes.
Yeah.
My hair was always done. I had a car. And so I was like, I don't think I was poor, but I
No.
certainly wasn't rich. So I didn't know what to do, so I just went to the poor group. And then I was like, I don't know. I guess that was poverty, though, according to how the United States would define it. But I guess it's interesting here, living in a Lumbee community where you're all around your family. You have all these resources embedded in your community that are protective factors from poverty.
That's
so I
right.
mean, we always have food. I mean, we never struggled really in any kind of way. It was just
Same.
interesting. That class was just so interesting.
Same,
to
because
me.
we definitely were not rich, and we definitely would have went into poor category if we had to choose, but
Right.
you didn't feel that because you
Yeah,
always had
Exactly.
everything you needed,
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know, and I don't think growing up in our time, because you're a lot younger than us, but in our time, the materialistic stuff wasn't as big a thing.
Yeah.
You
It
know
was-
what I'm saying?
It was very much like Brittany. I grew up in a single wide trailer in the Buckhead community all my life, and I had friends that their parents had brick homes, had some that had stick
And if they had a
frame
brick
homes.
home, they were rich.
Oh man, if they had a brick home, it was like, wow, you live in a brick house,
Yeah.
with a garage with the door opens and closed. We had a carport out back,
Yeah.
but we didn't think of it as that
No.
because the stability that we had as families around us.
Yeah.
Our grandparents were every time you walked in the kitchen, there was something to eat. If you walked in anyone's home, it was always here, have a meal, come do this. We always shared with each other. So basically, we didn't look at that as poverty and stuff. We looked at that as being rich constitutionally as Native American tribes and families.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I mean, we were actually, our life was rich. And
Right.
stuff. We didn't have monetarily, we didn't have it in the bank. But buddy, we had it at home, and we had it in life.
family
And,
connections and,
it's,
ties.
and
yeah.
I try, and that's why I try and teach my daughter now. Don't look at the physical things of folks. In the richness of life, you look at how people live, how they act, how they treat you, the things that you can learn from them, the things that you can teach them. That's what makes life rich.
And that's the indigenous way.
And exactly, and just like Lumbee Homecoming, when you bring everyone here for
Right.
Lumbee Homecoming, you got everything from a spectrum that somebody that makes $8 an hour to somebody that makes $300,000 a year. But buddy, when they're here at Lumbee Homecoming, they're all Lumbee.
We're all
They're
happy
all
Lumbee.
one people. They're all
Yeah.
together celebrating. And this year being 575,
Right.
man, that is just. And I'm not even Lumbee, but I'm married to Lumbee. My daughter is half
Yeah,
Lumbee.
but you know.
And I know people pick at me all the time and they say, JD, we know you got a Lumbee card hidden in your wallet somewhere. But
I mean,
no,
we're all connected.
We are. We
I
are.
honestly thought you was Lumbee
Well,
until you said it earlier. So I was sitting there like, so glad I didn't make
first
a like
thing-
Lumbee comment.
The first thing that people say is when I say JD Moore, oh, you're from Prospect.
Right.
You're the Moores from Prospect.
yeah,
And then I tell them the story about how the Moores, the first Moore, William Luther Moore,
Yeah.
left Waccamaw, left Buckhead Community, before it was called Buckhead Community, left there right after the Civil War, came here selling Bibles, and he moved and ended up, he married an Oxendine lady in Prospect Community. You can go to an old Main and see it on the wall, a photo of him. He donated one of the first $200 to buy the land for the university across the street
Yeah.
here, across the road
See,
there.
that's what I'm saying. We're
Yeah.
all connected.
And we're all
Yeah.
connected. So that William Luther Moore, I'm related to those same sets of Moores. I just grew up when they came around and said, okay, you're Waccamaw in this area, you're Lumbee,
Right,
you're Kahari, you're Halawasaponi, whatever area you lived. Then he was Lumbee because that's where he was at. That's where he was been
That's great.
raised.
I
That's
never
where he
heard that story.
died. You
So
know,
are
and they're
you
buried.
trying to say them Moors and Prospect are really welcome?
They have
That's what it sounds
Waccamaw.
like to
They
me,
have
Brittany.
Waccamaw
Turn in
Siouan
your cards.
bloodline, but they are Lumbee.
Right.
They
yeah,
are
I
Lumbee,
understand, yeah.
but they have a bloodline. If you
They
go
are
back far enough, they are descendants of a
Right.
Waccamaw Siouan. And so, yes, it's just like the Kahari. My buddy Sandon Jacobs, he is Waccamaw Siouan, and Kahari. But he grew up Waccamaw in the Buckhead community.
Yeah.
But his grandmother's family is from Clinton, North Carolina. So yeah.
Yeah, but all those lines are kind of muddy, right?
Oh,
Because
yes.
the
Yeah.
Jacobs that are in Kahari could definitely
My
be
mama
the
was a
Jacobs
Jacobs.
here
Yeah,
too.
the
You know
Jacobs
what I
here,
mean?
Jacobs in
That's what I'm
Buckhead.
saying. It's like if you
Right.
really did the lineage,
Mhm.
I think we could all kind of interconnect.
The Freemans here,
Yes.
Freemans at Buckhead.
I heard that.
There's
just
some of the
recently.
same set of Freeman families and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
And they're a lot of them are in Fairmont because I know them.
one thing I love about being indigenous and Native American is that we have all those ties together. Is that I can say, hey, I went to school with Ron Hunt in Columbus County, which was your father, back in 1989 and 1990.
He's
We
dating
went to
himself.
school- Yeah, we went to school together. I'm telling my age now. And Ron Hunt, her father, invited us to come to Lumberton and stay with him when he lived in a little trailer house there off of Highway 211 across from the John Deere place. And we hung out, me and him and Dexter Jacobs, and you were just a baby. You were an infant.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, I remember when your mom had you and you were a little thing, and we'd see pictures of you, and we hung out and had good times together. And that built that relationship with my first Lumbee brothers and Terry White and Oni White, the boys from over at Red Banks, and how I stayed with them after college. I moved in with them at Red Banks and became part of the community and stuff. And then, going to church at Old Prospect when I was in high school, and Preacher Bill James and all of those, and built those relationships, and I just continue to build them. And it's just, that's what makes us people. That's what makes our indigenous culture so great.
It does.
So Lumbee Homecoming, I'm telling you folks, come out, enjoy. Don't miss this time, this opportunity to celebrate with your brothers and sisters.
Yeah. So to end our podcast, I want us to talk a little bit about how you're preparing for pageant night.
I'm relying on the great wisdom of my Waccamaw brother.
So listen, Britt, let me tell you.
You're welcome, all cousin.
Yeah, I'm walking my cousin.
My cousin.
So, 'cause my Uncle Jack Hunt was from up here, and he married Aunt Sylvia, so we have Hunts in our bloodline too.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations. I'll tell you, like Brenda Hunt Storms used to say, it's a hunt thing.
It's a Hunt
You
thing.
wouldn't
Yeah.
understand.
So how you prepare for that is, one, you get the mindset that you're speaking for your people. You're speaking
need to be
for
talking
your
to
people.
Brittany.
Yeah, Brittany.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, you did tell me this earlier, so I'm soaking that in.
So,
He's looking at me, I'm not emceeing.
just like when you get on your podcast, and just like when you get on your TikToks and
Yeah.
stuff, and you're just being you,
Yes.
that's what your people want to see. The Lumbee people want to see Brittany Hunt be her natural self. Yes, we're going to have some scriptive items and stuff that we're going to have to go, and things that we're going to have to say that the boss lady here has created for us and stuff. And that's fine, but they want to see that prepare. And first of all, ask the Creator to give you those words, to give you that mindset, to step in front of your people. Remember your elders.
Yes.
Remember those elders that you're speaking for, no matter what tribe they come from. But remember the pathways that they had, the struggles that they had. Think about the Dr. Adolph Dials. Think about the Dr. Linda Oxendines. Think about all of those different ones that paved that path for us. And then you get up there and you showcase yourself and you use that, because God gives us gifts. He gives us gifts every day. And the things about gifts is, if you don't use the gift right, He can take, you'll lose it, He can take that gift away from you. But use it right. Don't abuse it. Use it, don't abuse it, or you'll lose it.
Well, this is terrifying.
And so
Mr.
you
Jackson.
are not, don't be terrified.
Jesus,
You
oh
are
no,
gonna
the
be
stakes are even
fine.
higher.
And guess what? The lights will be down low. All you're going to see is just a shadow out there. You won't even really see folks.
Right.
But you are going to do fine. And
No.
and I'm telling you, we're going to enjoy ourselves.
Yes.
We're going to hype the crowd up. We're going to get them ready for Lumbee Homecoming. And we're going to showcase those beautiful, talented ladies that's running for the teen and senior Miss Lumbee or Miss Lumbee. And we're going to, it's their night. And we're just talking for them. So
Right.
that's how we're
Well,
going
we
to
got
get
a
prepared.
big group too this
A
year.
big
So
group.
see,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
I'm really excited about
That is exciting. So.
I think
And
it's
we
gonna
had
be
our
great.
first practice at GPAC last night. And yeah, you could see the nerves kick in when they
Yeah.
step on that big stage for the
Yeah.
first time, especially those who've never done it.
Yes.
Yeah. But they'll settle in. That's why we give them about a week to get
yeah.
used to
Yeah.
it all. And
Yeah.
So it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. So the question everybody wants to know is, what are you wearing, Brittany?
That's a
Yeah,
great
because I need to know
question.
what color I need to get.
Well, I have a dress, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I ordered 13 dresses in total.
I saw that
13
video.
dresses.
I've taken back about 7, I think, so far. I have to take back more
Okay.
when I get back tomorrow. I'll do
Okay.
that. But one of them is nice, but it's a little bit too small. So I'm praying to God. and
It's
all
that
you-
1 pound you gained, Brittany.
Yes, I know. I need to lose that
Lose
1
that
pound.
You'll still
And I'll
be
be
big Brit.
good. I don't want to be medium Brit. I
No.
want to be big Brit. So I'm gonna lose that pound. But I took it to the seamstress. She said she's gonna be able to take it in. So let's just hope. But it's black and white.
Oh, we're good then. I know what
Now-
I'm wearing.
Okay.
Okay, so is this one of the ones you showed me or no?
No.
You went
because I had to
totally
go-
different.
Yes, I tried to order one of the ones I showed you from a girl in New York. I ordered it actually, then she canceled it last minute. She said, "Oh, I thought you lived in New York too." What made her think that? I don't know. So I just went through a lot of struggles in this.
All right,
She would
I see,
document
I
that.
see.
went through so much. All the dresses I tried on, I was like, "There's just something off about everything." I felt like Goldilocks in the cabin with the bears. Like, something's not right. This porridge is
Something
too
doesn't
hot.
feel
like,
right, yeah.
Yes, but I do love the dress I took to the seamstress, so I'm supposed to go tomorrow.
So you have settled on one.
If who knows if she'll fix it? I don't know. I'm going tomorrow. If she says no, I don't know what I'll do. I'm gonna borrow that dress. Leave that on. I mean, or get one of y'all's T-shirts out there and just add a skirt.
I think whatever you wear, it'll be beautiful.
Well, let's hope.
It's a lot easier for men. Yeah.
I know.
I
I'm
just
just
got to
gonna
get
sit-
the
That's
right
why we didn't
I'm
color.
ask
just
you,
gonna
JD,
get
what you were
some-
wearing.
You
I'm
don't
just gonna get a suit and wear this.
My biggest thing is what piece of beadwork am I gonna wear? That's my biggest
Yes.
option I got. So yeah.
I want
So-
to be a man.
So for the little and junior, the little and junior misses on Monday night, and the MCs for that pageant are Nancy and
Yes,
Angie,
yeah.
who
Two
did it
great
last
MCs.
year.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it was the first time they had done the pageant last year, and they were so nervous,
I
but they
know.
did
They are
a
wonderful
wonderful
ladies.
job.
Yeah.
So now we've transitioned them to the little this year, and for all of y'all, I hope y'all saw our video that we put out about the anticipation for our kickoff ceremony. In that
It was
video,
funny.
it was so
That was
funny.
good.
It was so good. If you
Yes.
hadn't seen it, you need to go find it and look it up. But in that video, of course, a former Miss Lumbee Alexis was in it, and DJ Gizmo. And I'm telling you this because she is going to be a part of the little and junior. I'm not going to tell you how, but she's going around telling everybody that she's going to straighten her hair and wear a dress.
What? What? She did my daughter's graduation party. She's amazing.
So I hope she
Don't see
watches
what
this.
DJ Gizmo
I hope she
does.
watches this. So we were at Senior Miss the other night, and anybody who knows my husband, he's a cut up.
He is. Yeah.
And she's actually said that to my husband, and right before he didn't even think. And he says, "Well, you better get a name tag, because ain't nobody gonna know who you are."
Oh my God, DJ Gizmo right there.
Let's get a
She's
photo
always
of
got
that
her
one.
hair braided
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a
she
hat
does.
on.
I met her for the first time in pageant too.
Yeah,
She's
she is.
so funny.
She is hilarious.
She
Yeah.
told me she's 50 years old. Did y'all
Yeah.
know that?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know what her skincare routine, seriously, because
Yeah.
I was like, are you kidding me? I've been telling everybody. Hope you don't mind DJ Gizmo, you look
She
amazing.
don't care. She don't
She's
care.
got the best personality. I love her. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
She's so
She's a
funny,
lot
but
of
that
fun.
video was great. That was a
Yeah.
great idea. It was
Yeah,
hilarious.
so for Friday night, give a little plug for that. That's our kickoff celebration, and JD, you're going to be a part of that.
Yes, ma'am. Gonna be opening that up Friday night, and a good nice ceremony there, and a lot of good things. I'll let Mr. Natascha give you the details, but it's gonna be great. Y'all need to come out in that opening ceremony.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it because everybody was like, "Oh, we're not having fireworks," because we weren't able to have them on July 4th. Usually it's a finale, right?
Yeah.
But what you don't understand unless you deal with that kind of event planning, we always book our fireworks out a year or better. But when we tried to do that, fireworks were locked down for
Yeah.
like the past 3 to 4 years
Yeah, for the
in
250th
anticipation
celebration.
of the 250th celebration of America, because
Yeah.
all the big parties and all the things that are happening across the United States, so we couldn't get our hands on them.
Wow.
And so, I mean, not for that day. We could get them. I mean, we could have chose to blow them up on Friday or any other day, but you don't want to just do that because it has no meaning.
Right,
So if you're going to put that kind of investment in fireworks, they
Yeah.
need to at least have a purpose.
right.
So that's when I said, we need to do a kickoff celebration
Yeah.
because it is a special year. our first federally recognized homecoming. So let's do a kickoff celebration. Open it up with the fireworks. And of course, you know, you just can't blow off fireworks. So what we're going to do with that? We're going to bring some people in here and have some fun before we do it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so I was able to get the Henry Berry Band, which is a classic.
Yeah.
If you were into old school rock and that kind of thing, back in the day, the Henry Berry Band was a thing.
Back on
I
our
mean,
day.
and from what I understand, they did a lot of big stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah,
They
I
were
mean,
very
they were on the
popular.
national stage.
Wow.
And
that's
doing,
amazing.
yeah. I'd have to get somebody like Beatrice Maynard in here to help me with the background of that, because she could probably tell you all of it. B, you heard me say that, if you're watching. But yes, they were a big deal. And they've kind of reorganized with some new members, but with some original members, and it started playing again. And so we've invited them to come, and they're going to have a set. And then I called Charlie last minute. I know. But she agreed.
Miss Dependable.
She agreed. You know, Charlie lives in Nashville, so it's a big ask for her to come and be a part of that. And she rearranged her schedule to come be with us. So Charlie's going to be here.
She's amazing.
And she is amazing. And for those of you that may not know, a little fun fact about Charlie, I can't remember the year off the top of my head, but she was junior Miss Lumbee.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think I forgot that.
Yeah, she was junior Miss Lumbee. And then, of course, Alexis, I called her. And she's a busy girl, too. She
Yeah.
had to rearrange a little bit for me, but she also agreed to come. And so DJ Gizmo's all on it. She's going to be here, so it's just going to be fun.
Yeah.
We're going to open up with a traditional honor ceremony at 6.
Yeah, Mr. Reggie Brewer is
Mr.
going to
Reggie,
be there, and myself, and we're going to have some singers and dancers, traditional singers and dancers will be there opening up. We'll have some good social dancing, some good welcome dancing, friendship dancing. We want everybody to come, get involved with that, and enjoy that portion, and then let Gizmo just take off and do what she does, and then open up for all our bands, let them hit their sets, and then end it with a great fireworks
Alexis
demonstration.
is telling me she's got a banging set. That's her words,
Yes.
not mine.
Yep.
And she's got this whole thing orchestrated, and you don't want to miss it, because if you saw the video, if you follow her on social media, you know she's a hoot herself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But anything else on your hearts? I'll do it like they do on churches. All hearts and minds
Our
clear.
minds are clear. Well, I tell you this, you probably don't get this a lot, but I want to thank you, and I know Britt does too, for everything that you're doing, not for just LRDA, but for the Lumbee tribe and how this is spreading amongst other tribes as well. So thank you, Ms. Natascha, for the hard work and the dedication that you're doing with it.
I appreciate that.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
And thank y'all for being here
Yes,
and
ma'am.
agreeing to be a part of Lumbee Homecoming.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
I'm so excited.
I
Very
am
excited.
too. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. We probably went a little bit longer today, but we had a lot to talk about. So hope you watch it to the end. But anyway, thanks, guys, and we'll see you again
All right.
soon.
See y'all.
Thank you.